Hey everybody, that's Bear Belly back there, and I'm Kevin, and we're not childish. We're at a higher level of immaturity, and so is my cooking. I thought to throw out some ideas. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and I don't pick ones that are very exacting. I prefer things that are simple and not so perfect. Um, And that brought to mind some things that I thought about for the non-professional. Excuse me. I just ate a experimental sandwich, to tell you the truth. So one of the things that I think about is it's not so much whether what I'm eating is good for me, but whether it tastes good. Um, Some people carry it to extremes. They have to have everything natural and it has to be 100% fresh, which some people say means never frozen. And yet, some of the things that you may not realize, but a lot of the times if you eat sushi, that meat has been frozen. There's no way that they can transport it the distances they do without freezing it. So what I'm really proposing is use what you have. I've said in my other video on cooking that you should cook for yourself, which means if you like it tasting the way it does and the way it appears, then that's the way you should serve it to others. Don't try to satisfy their expectations, because then it's not your food. And you never know, they may love the way you cook. You know, you may not use as much garlic as they do. Well, don't put more in just for them. On the other hand, if you use a lot, use a lot. That's the way you like it. And then they'll decide for themselves whether they like it or not. And like I said before, if they love it, maybe you should be cooking. Maybe you should have a restaurant. Um, some of the things that maybe other people don't think about is preparing foods that, you know, are just coming out of the freezer. So let's say I'll just use a frozen pizza for my first one. If you've never done that brand before, follow the directions exactly. If they say set it at 425, set it at 425. Don't get in a hurry. Let your oven preheat if that's what they say. Another thing, don't pull it out of the freezer. Leave it in the freezer until your oven is warm. That's the way they're designed to be cooked. If you take them out ahead of time, they start thawing out. You potentially can overcook overcook the crust and maybe even the ingredients. If you're looking at frozen pizza and it says 12 to 15 minutes, you might want to set it for 10 or 12, but never for the first time set it for 15. And when your buzzer goes off, go check the damn thing. See how it's cooking. Not that it's very easy if it's on a rack, on a grate, but if your oven doesn't cook evenly, rotate it. Now, that's my way of doing things because that's the way I want my food cooked. and I don't want to give it to someone else where it's done less than the way I want it done. So if I have those issues, I'm going to deal with them, and I'm going to make a pizza as good as possible. So even when you're doing a frozen pizza, you're still cooking, and you're needing to follow the directions until you know better. And if you know better, make it better. Maybe you want to put it on a tray, even though it says it's supposed to be on the grate. Maybe you want to brush a little butter on the bottom side, give it a little bit better taste. I don't know. Maybe you want to throw extra ingredients on it, maybe just a little extra cheese. Anything that you think will make it better, go ahead and try it. Cooking other foods, you should pay attention to what you're doing. The oven almost always should be preheated, but there are times when I have cooked things where I wanted them to kind of build their temperature at the same time the oven does, so I'll put them in when it's cold. It's just my choice. I experimented and found that I prefer that. So experiment. Take some chances and make some, attempts to make things better. Another thing that I catch people doing that I just cannot stand is reheating pizza. I don't care whether it's delivered or what, or frozen pizza. But reheating in a microwave just doesn't work. In fact, reheating in a microwave is another subject which we'll cover here in a little bit. Reheating pizza is definitely something that should be done in the oven, or if you got it, a toaster oven, because it's just smaller and heats up quicker. When I reheat pizza, I don't use a microwave, never. I put it in my little toaster oven, which of course you can get one for next thing to nothing. They don't do toast very well, but they do pizza pretty good. Usually if I set it for toast, I set it on the shortest amount of time, or in other words, light brown toast. And then I turn the timer on to just where it'll stay, where it clicks, and let it go. I come up with a piece of pizza that's been reheated. The crust is nice again. It is almost as fresh. In fact, sometimes I actually like it better because the ingredients get a little more crispy or well done, which I like that. I like my pepperoni cooked real well. If my cheese browns a little bit, that's usually a good thing. So use your toaster oven for your reheating a lot of times. Now let's talk about microwaves. I can't believe people will throw something in there, turn it on the maximum, and walk away. One of the funniest things to ever watch people do is to throw popcorn, in a microwave, turn it on, it says, 2 to 4 minutes, and they'll set it on 4, and of course when they come back it's burnt to hell. Now of course every microwave is different in its wattage, but if I turn it on, my way for popcorn is till I find out how fast it cooks in the microwave I have, I'll turn it on 3 minutes, and then I'll just listen to the popping. They tell you that if it gets down to a pop every 2 seconds, then shut it off. And I'll tell you that if you don't shut it off right then, you're probably going to smell some burnt popcorn. And that smoke inside the bag ruins all of it. If you're You know, if you're picky, we'll say picky like I am, not real picky. But I'll tell you, I also would prefer seeing kernels not popped than to have that burnt popcorn in there. Usually you never eat the whole damn bag anyway. When you're reheating food, if I'm just put some chili in there to reheat in a bowl, um, half a bowl or so, 30 seconds. And then I let it sit. And then I stir it a little bit, and then I'll hit it another 30 seconds. It won't cook in spots, which that's the problem with just turning it on and letting it go, is usually one spot will burn and another spot will be uncooked. If you're thawing things in it the way I do it, I'll run it for a minute, and then I just let it sit in there a while and let it normalize in temperature again. And then if I want to thaw it more, then I'll hit it again. You know, you're not in any big hurry usually, so take your time. And if you are in a big hurry, get it out and separate the stuff. It'll thaw out pretty quickly. I would never put bread in a microwave. It just destroys it. It'll cook spots hard and leave the rest. It's terrible. So just forget that. Take the roll out, open it up or whatever, and just let it air for just a little bit. Throw it in your toaster oven. But don't try to thaw it out in the microwave. It just gives you a lousy piece of bread. Hard spots in it, things like that. Now, if that's the way you like it, go ahead. And make sure you serve it to your guests that way too. I mean, if that's the way you like it. Alright, now we'll talk about a few of my experiments. In fact, I am working on one right now. I tried to make cheese steaks. Oh, and actually, I want to tell you one of the things that I can't believe people like, but is a big hit, is a Philly cheesesteak using Cheese Whiz. When I finally ate one that was officially a Philly cheesesteak, I thought, this is the worst piece of shit. I cannot believe anybody thinks that this is good. That Cheese Whiz on it just absolutely ruins it. It's horrible. But obviously, I'm not the one that I'm in the minority on that. But anyway, I was working on trying to make cheesesteaks my way, and I was going to use provolone cheese. Oh, I saw a video where a guy made his version of Cheese Whiz. He made a roux and then he put mozzarella cheese in it, and that was his take on Cheese Whiz. That looked a lot better to me than what they normally use. So anyway, I first seared the meat that I had, which was actually country style spare ribs. I seared it, and then I chopped it up into real small pieces, fried up a whole bunch of onions, and I threw them in with the onions, and I had seasoned it with a steak seasoning, and when it was all done, the meat was tough. Now, I kind of thought that's what was going to happen, and then I tried to figure out what I could have done different. Maybe I should have put it in my crock pot and cooked it down first, and done a real slow cook on it. I didn't think about that ahead of time. I didn't think about the meat ending up being tough. Also, there's a certain moment in time when a piece of meat is being cooked that it's tough, and then you cook it past that, and then it gets tender again. So you either cook it in a short amount of time or you cook it for a long, but that in between, you gotta watch. So here's my experiment. I took what was left over, threw it in my crock pot, turned it on low, added some water to it, and we're going to find out. I don't hold a lot of hope of this working, but I made sure all the grease and everything else was in there, and I'm putting it on low, and I just want to see. I have nothing to lose. It wasn't that good. If I throw it out, I throw it out. Then that's part of, experimenting. I have another experiment that I created my own sandwich out of it. I called it an Italian turkey club. And what I use is turkey meat, but then instead of bacon, I use pepperoni. I fry it. It gets a little bit crispy. I put that together. I can add cheese if I want, mozzarella. Since I also heat the turkey up, I fry it a little bit. I mean, it's already, cooked, but I just heat it up really. And then lettuce, tomato, but instead of mayonnaise, I use creamy Italian dressing. And that seems a little strong, so I'm thinking of like mixing it with mayonnaise to cut it down some, and we'll see. But anyway, as it is right now, they're good sandwiches. They're enjoyable and they're different. And I make them more like a sub than the typical turkey club where you have 3 pieces of bread and things like that. I don't mess with that. So too much trouble. Another crazy one, Italian onion soup. See, I play with the idea of foods that are named for a certain country, and then I try to come up with something else from another country. So instead of French onion soup, I'm making Italian onion soup. So far, I've only done it one way, and that's fry, or saute a whole bunch of onions and mix it with tomato soup, a spicy tomato soup. If I wanted to make it more Italian, I could have more herbs and things like that in it. I could even do an Alfredo sauce instead of tomato sauce and make the soup. That would probably be even better. I haven't ever tried that one. Now that I'm here talking about it, that might be on my list here real soon. These are the kind of things you can have fun with cooking. And the only thing you really need to do is to be more patient with your cooking. You need to stay with it, watch it, set the timer, whatever it takes. If you're messing with your computer, just set it there on the kitchen counter and play with it while it cooks, or real close by, so when the timers ring, you can get to them without, being so far away. You can sit anywhere else and play on your phone, so why not do it in the kitchen? I'll share one more I'm doing. I got some thick cut bacon at a pretty good price. It has pepper all over the outside, which interested me. I've never had that before. I usually find that frying bacon in a frying pan is the only way to go for the most intense flavor. It seems that frying in its own grease is a way for it to really boost the flavor. But it's easier, or at least cleaner, to do it in the oven. So I have this bacon. I'm going to do it both ways. and I'll see which one I prefer. You can do the same. I know a lot of people who are quite satisfied with their bacon being done in the oven. My father does it in the microwave. He has a special dish for it that allows it to cook nice and evenly. I'm not wild about the microwave. I don't know. I just can't believe I'm going to get a real nice um, even bake, you might say. So, well, with that, I just encourage you, experiment, cook the way you like to cook. A frozen pizza is cooking just like chicken cordon bleu is, or baked Alaska. It's all something that you can either do from the heart, or you can just throw it together and use it for filler. Thanks a lot.